Hello, welcome to Magic with Melly. Here is your thumbnail card, the Two of Pentacles. And behind it, I had the Nine of Wands. All right, before we get started on this channeled message reading, mind you, it's timeless. So whenever you find it, hopefully you find that it applies. I'd like to update my collective on what's going on with me just a little bit. I had emergency surgery on Tuesday. Without saying much more, I've just been healing on antibiotics. The antibiotics have been messing up my stomach. I almost canceled doing today's Melly Monday, but I realized that my best doesn't have to be perfect, and neither does your best. Your best will look different every day. And in my previous Melly Monday videos, I was more put together, my makeup was done, or just some other steps are taken behind the scenes before Melly Mondays at times. And here I am still putting on the show. I love and adore and care about you guys deeply. I know you guys, and it's all because you guys give me that energy, and it's so natural for me to return the energy. I'm very happy to be here and alive and surviving, and I wouldn't change how things are going. As bad as it's gotten for me with my mental health recently over this last week, I don't believe I would change anything about the turn of events. I think that there is a large sum of gratitude I am in need to return to, and like just reminders that I have friends and family there to support me. And overall, I suppose just get started. I don't have much more to say other than this last week has been really hard. I don't necessarily feel comfortable sharing so openly here on YouTube, but if you'd like to connect with me on Instagram, that is very, very much welcome. I'd love to hear from you guys. I did hear from some of you guys last week when I opened up to help. However, just the emotional toll with the surgery, with the incident, was overwhelming. So now I'm ready to come back into the community and continue life. I mean, that's just what we should look forward to. Life, there's many things to be happy and grateful about, even when the worst occurs. There's always the small things amongst the larger things to be paying attention to. Okay, so as usual, I have some pre-shuffled oracle cards and some tarot cards to channel your messages. The title here says mind your mental health. So the big picture here, the big message I'm trying to get across is regarding mental health, and it being a choice, all right, to take care of your mental health. All right, Two of Pentacles is about choices. You see him balancing out two Pentacles. Pentacles can be about projects. It could be about decisions here. Whatever he's, juggling or balancing, it is eternal, with the infinity sign represented there, having to balance out your good and your bads, your tough times and your good, the tough times and the smooth times. With the Nine of Wands, exhaustion, all right, because lengths of time without care towards your mental health will create this exhaustion. And many times when you are exhausted, you find yourself fighting yourself, fighting your peers, the people who are in your immediate surroundings. You find that when you're tired, your wire, I don't know if that's like the phrasing I want to use, like your wire's thin, the line is short. It's there's not very much that it takes before you get irritated or upset. And then behind that, I'm seeing here a 7 of Pentacles, right? More about choices, how to ground what it is that you want, right? Instead of just ruminating in the things that you're fighting yourself on or upset with, or if things aren't going your way, instead of just ruminating here, we have the 7 of Pentacles, right? Making the choice to go after your world. Go on your journey. Make that choice. Okay? And then I want to mention again, well, not again, but another card behind this deck, behind these 3 cards, was the 9 of Swords. So lots of ruminating. Okay, back to the just keyword ruminating. We need to quit that. Make it an active role, and make your own self an active role in your life to heal and do better and want better and choose better. All those things, that's a proactive thing you should begin to do for yourself rather than remaining stuck. You are not as stuck or as you're not forced to stay in any situation. Neither are you forced to make a decision or leave or anything to that matter, but the summation of your experiences and your situations, they do come from the types of choices that you make, right? If no more like outwardly blaming an individual for the relationship that you have with them. It goes 2 ways. It's not just the individual, it's your part in it as well. And so if you're doing your best or changing for the best, or making those decisions to receive and give in the best way that you can, right? Like, I'm not saying that the best has, again, I started this reading saying your best does not have to be perfect. My intentions today was get Melly Monday done and rewrap my bandage. Okay, and apparently it took me all day to get here, all right? Because usually I have my Melly Mondays posted by the afternoon, and at this point in time it is 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. in the evening, right? And that is not necessarily my standard best, but you got to show up for yourself and for the people in your life that you care about, that you love, that you want to continue with you. All those things matter. You matter. And it's important to just let off the pressure and just do what it is that would put you at ease or make you feel better, or striving towards better, even if there are days where your actions are much smaller than your usual. Take that as your time and space for rest, to figure things out, map things out, plan things out, whatever it is. Just rewire some system that's working up here, that's keeping your mental health in poor condition. All right, I'm looking out for you guys. I'm looking out for me. I felt like this reading was really important to not miss. So here we are, okay? So let's go into some tarot. This is I think this is the Way of the Panda tarot. Beautiful deck right there. And we will see what we can do, all right? I'm thankful to have such a unique situation, and also I'm fighting myself a little bit, all right? But here we are, okay? And blessings and bless you, all right, for being here. I appreciate you all for your support. Whenever you find this video, trust that all will be fine. All is how it should be. Trust that any messages that come forward, if they resonate, they are for you. If they are not for you, please do not take a story or a situation that doesn't fit, okay? I do intend for the best for all, but not everyone is going to be able to resonate exactly the same. Everyone has their own unique situations. I'm not sure what types of situations I may even be reading here, but here we are. If you find this reading to be of any help, I would absolutely love to know. And let's move forward, okay? Let's see what's going on for our collective channeled message for my Melly Monday collective. Let's see what's going on with my friends here. What's going on with my friends? What would be some great advice for our friends here? I have a bit too many cards shuffled out, but I'll take, actually, let's reshuffle those because that's probably just my hand being in poor condition. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best, and that's what matters. And we all appreciate each other here. So what's our channel message for my collective here today? What would they need to know? Okay, a ton came out again, so I'm just gonna go with it and trust that everything's fine. Okay, I have the first is gonna be the Strength card in reverse. All right, finding some difficulty carrying our strength around, maybe carrying a bit too much around. Next, we have Temperance upright. And we have the Chariot as well, upright. I have the Imagination Station upright. I think that card is beautiful. I'm experiencing these cards for the first time as well in a reading. So beautiful. Three of Cups reverse right there. And Seven of Wands. All right, for my lovelies coming into Melly Monday, either here and now or in the future. I am glad to see you guys. And let me see what's going on with the back of the deck. I'm seeing the Moon in reverse. So when it comes to the strength, right, I was beginning to talk about struggling to carry strength within your situations. Perhaps a lot of events have occurred in the past that maybe bring you to a place of disappointment or a place of, they bring you down to low places. And when you've been so low for so long, it's hard to come out of that. I can definitely imagine how hard it's been for some of you guys. I mean, I can't say that I've had it the easiest myself, with being a disabled individual. It gets rather hard and harder than I can manage or handle at times. And your own mental can bring you back to those situations. and bring you back to those situations and bring you back to those situations, even when your immediate surroundings are not signaling you that you're there. Like some just one action that seems similar to something in your past immediately maybe triggers some of your emotions or your thoughts, or actions maybe you are really used to. When one individual does something, then your immediate reaction or go-to thing to do is XYZ, blah 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 blah. Like it's like a something you do maybe instinctively, like you've been conditioned to react or behave or do something a certain way. It could be that is the very struggle that you have, that when the shit gets hard, when things get tough, or when you're in a situation that reminds you of where you've been, you're struggling with what you're doing currently because of how things have gone in your past. There's layers and levels of, and many situations that can apply to this. I'm trying to be as general as possible so I can reach as many individuals as possible. But just let me know, how you're keeping up in the comments. Again, if you'd like, if you don't mind sharing, I am very happy to be open with you guys. But I'd love for it to be mutual. I don't want to be here spilling my guts and then you guys are just pointing at me and laughing. I have an issue with that, and things should be with balance. We have the Two of Pentacles. Outside of viewing the Two of Pentacles as choices, I also view it as balance. So keeping in balance within every aspect of your life, I think, is very important, because they always say, like, too much of anything is blah 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 blah, like, is bad, and too much of this is, like, or not enough of this is not good. So all that energy is important, balancing out how you'd like to be treated, and imagining, rather than imagining the same situation reoccurring, maybe begin to imagine it to go the other way, like find balance in the way that you think. Perhaps that take note and realize, hey, I am generally pessimistic, or I'm generally positive, or I'm generally realistic, I'm generally in a fantasy, right? However you resonate with, try considering the other end. Now, it's going to be uncomfortable. You may not be able to do it so easily right away. It may take you pulling out a journal. But you may get down to something new that may be of some sort of benefit for you, at least with opening yourself up to some new perspective or way of being, way of existing, way to handle another individual. For those of you who are concerned about someone else, sometimes you can't really connect because there's not a sense of understanding. Maybe it's impossible for you to understand, right? In the example of a pessimist versus an optimist, pessimist, it's harder for pessimists and optimists to agree, because the optimist is always going to be in a positive, lighthearted kind of energy, and the pessimist is always going to be sort of negative and not really seeing the good in things. And so if you can kind of flip the switch maybe you'd be able to see through their eyes or see something from their perspective that would help, if there's been argumentation between you and another and it's causing, mental conflict, or it's causing your mental health to decline because you care about this person and maybe you're always in their surroundings. Like, really try and get on the same page, and you can do that by taking a few steps back and seeing yourself first. Don't be It's not really nice to feel psychoanalyzed when you're connecting with friends. You shouldn't be feeling judged or by any means, but like taking steps back and saying and realizing like how you see things and how you operate, and perhaps trying to do that with another, at least from the point of trying to understand them enough to get along again. But otherwise, I think that if you were to just, step back and like keep outwardly blaming or judging, and it would cause more issues in your connection for those that are worried about another and their mental health, or you with your mental health involved with others. But all in all, with Temperance here and the Chariot card, I think the importance is making the move on yourself with making these types of changes, at least to be able to serve yourself well, in order to in some sense create patience. And what I mean by that, by like creating patience, right? Like you would, because it kind of seems uh counteractive by saying like making moves but then being patient or like waiting. But it's like, again, with balance, I think that's why these cards are coming up together, is because there is an urgency for making some sort of change. But then once you've created this change, also apply patience and compassion towards yourself, because you are new at trying to resonate in a new energy, or you're new at working with another individual, or you're new with even working with yourself, like just have carry no more extra stress or worries about where you're at, because what's important is that you're here today, you're here now, you're open to learning, you're open to being more you, or more stronger than you have been in the past, right? Because I don't like seeing the Strength card in reverse. All right, but I do love seeing the Strength card in any reading. It just means you guys have to remember the strength within, and it may be, tough, especially during tough times, to pick yourself up. It may be, and that's where the patience with yourself is important, because if you're not patient with yourself on a day where you're not strong, you're your own person kicking your own self down. And that's like the worst thing that can happen, like out of all the people who can let you down, there's only one person, and it's yourself. Like, you can't, other people may upset you, they may argue with you, they may not do what you want them to do, but at the end of the day, the only person you can really ruin or make is yourself. And so without patience on your weakest days, without compassion on your weakest days, you just give up. Is that all right? I don't find that to be all right, because you have so much, you have built so much. However, whatever it took for you to get here to this day, whatever struggles, whatever high points you've had, you know, successes, struggles, pitfalls, whatever, however you want to name them, okay? All those good and bad times. And sorry about my verbiage being kind of floppy. The meds are doing something. They're especially doing a number on my stomach, but we are managing, all right? But the whole point is you owe yourself at least not to give up on something that is important to you. On yourself. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be specific. But just living and breathing and knowing that things will pass. Imagining up better days when things are rough. Looking to the smaller details when the larger details are kind of not fun to look at, or vice versa, you know, like when the small details are really just not serving you to be paying attention to them. Maybe take steps back and look at the bigger picture. It's going to apply both ways for you, for both ways, or one or the other way for some of my collective. But with the smaller details, we can really microanalyze things to the point of ruining it. And when you step back and look at the bigger picture, some of you are going to be like, oh my goodness, why did I react that way towards my loved one? Obviously next week or in a few days, it's not going to matter, or vice versa. You know, if you look at the bigger picture and how you're taking steps forward, the way that you see, you know, like where you're at, and then you look down the line and you're like, well, I don't want to be, you know, here I am with like my injury, and I'm like, I don't want to be without a job. You know, I'm right now, the small details as I'm like taking steps forward, you know, outside of all this YouTube and stuff, I do still need a flowing income, and being without a job worries me when I'm trying to build my own business. And so, like, you know, like I'm looking at the bigger picture, I need an income. Looking at the smaller details, I'm like, my business is important, you know? And it's like finding balance in the small details versus the large details, the good versus the bad, and like just really realizing that the beauty of it is the fact that you are existing to experience it all. Okay, like believe that wholeheartedly. Like the beautiful thing, even through the toughest, the hardest times, like this last week, I'm swear I'm trying my best not to get like super emotional here, but like I was trying my best to hold on to, like, when you're vomiting your guts out because the antibiotics are so, like, you know, up here to save my hand, um you begin to be on the verge of losing ounces of the will to live. And I don't mean that like heavily, but it be like that for some of us when we go through really stressful times that we don't know if we can get out of. Lots of money, you know, things related to money. If you owe a lot of money to someone, some people, they really get to this place of, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. I don't know, like, I don't want to live the rest of my life in debt. Like, there's all sorts of scenarios, not just that one. Okay. And me saying that may be really triggering, but when you're overwhelmed with the stress and with the turnout, realize that the outcome you're so concerned or worried about, that doesn't necessarily have to be the outcome. negative or positive. Although if you hold on to a positive way of existing, of thinking, your capability of getting through it is much stronger if you believe within yourself that you're able to push through it or get through it. If you already have that within, anybody who tells you would be adding to you, to your thoughts, like. And that's, I mean, you could say the same thing the other way. When someone says something bad or negative to you, it would take away from you. It has the potential to do that. But what's even greater is your power to either transmute or even choose not to take in their words, choose not to take in their actions, choose not to be affected or as affected, right? Just making an active channel of only receiving what it is that you'd like to see or have within your life, like, and whether it's energies or how you're spoken to, how you're handled at work, how you're handled in your home life, family, friends. You do have a choice in that. You don't have to be friends with somebody who has a history of treating you badly and then pretending like they're not, or whatever scenarios you can possibly think of that do not serve you well. You do not have to accept that. You don't always have to form words in return. How you manage your situations is up to you, okay? Standing up for yourself, it looks really unique on everybody, okay? Um, some individual, and okay, this is all individuals, not just some, not just me as well. I pick and choose when I feel like speaking up on a situation. I deem it as either necessary or unnecessary to say something. And how you say it may matter as well. But with the Three of Cups, okay, I have this Three of Cups card in reverse. There's a separation energy. There's an energy that I feel here regarding feeling separated from your loved ones. Maybe it is your struggles with your mental health, or your people in your immediate circle are struggling with this and they have been, putting up a guard and you don't quite understand. There's so many things about mental health that make people behave in manners that are harder to understand. And for some, you may describe it as that person's acting weird, or that person's acting like they're acting out, or something like that, okay? And it approaching these individuals who are struggling in this way, it creates even more of a separation, because you're now then spotlighting the fact that you don't understand them. You're spotlighting your misunderstanding. Rather, maybe approach yourself or the people that you're working with, approach them with love, approach them with care. Hey, has everything been all right with you? Like, no casting judgments or laying on assumptions, right? Because what do we say about people who assume things? You're making an ass out of you and me. And so it's like ensuring that you are not approaching in a bad manner or in a bad light. I mean, of course, if you have good intentions, no matter how you approach how it's perceived and all that mumbo jumbo is all related to like the person, you know, how someone perceives you is on the person, not on you. So trust that your good intentions are fine alone, but approach with caution or be wary of the fact that it can be taken the wrong way given a tone or your level of understanding with them, that depending on how you approach someone who is having struggles with mental health, or if you are struggling with mental health, like there may be complications or some sort of um barrier, you know, like a separation put up, because when it's hard to understand when someone, okay, someone who is struggling with mental health, they're already having trouble understanding themselves, okay? And then add in another person who is further on, who is like just extending the more misunderstanding. It creates more confusion. It creates more upset. It creates more of this energy that was already difficult to deal with. And so should they not respond to you, or should they not be able to handle it, okay, in a way that you would prefer, don't make the situation harder on them because they were already struggling to begin with, right? Rather come in it from at a sense of, I'm worried about you. How can I be there for you? Like, what do you need from me to make this easier on you? Um, Approaching it in that way, even if you say these things to yourself, what do I need, and how can I give that to myself? What does that person need, and how can I give it to them? Rather than shaming them or judging them or giving them a hard time for not being better, right? Don't even do that to yourself. Don't like shame or judge yourself for not being better. Like you don't know better until you know better. You can only operate off of what you know. So how can you, like, you can't really change how something went, but you can change for the better in the future. And so it's this new flow, and being tough or rough on yourself or with others, it's just not going to serve you well. We're all here trying to do our best. We're all here working on something, working on ourselves, some projects that we've created that we want to complete, you know, connections that we've began that have begun to hold meaning to us or have always held meaning to us, but maybe there's just been some interesting conversations that have happened, like whatever it is, okay? Seven of Wands here signifies to me that there is fuel for the fight, okay? But make it a good fight. Don't make it the bad kind. Don't make it the type where you find yourself beating yourself up, crying alone, feeling unloved. Don't put yourself there. You don't need to be there. I can guarantee you, if you opened up in the slightest and let anyone know that you are in need of a friend, you'll be surprised, okay? You'll be surprised. And that's the least I can say. You will be surprised. Whatever you open up about and say, hey, I need a friend. I need money. I need food. I need sex. Whatever it is, okay? Like, if you set it as openly as you wish, okay, you can open up to one person, you can open up to a whole group, you can open up to a stranger, you can open up to your mom, you can open up to a sibling, you can open up to someone, like anyone, okay? That I guarantee you there's going to be someone somewhere who has been waiting for you to say these things so that they can provide for you, or so that the universe can provide for you. All right, you're not as alone as you think. And there are other people who go through the similar or maybe pretty close to the exact situation you've been through. And that's where, with struggling with strength, that's where you can find strength, is in your community, right? I think 3 of Cups here also redirects me into the point of mentioning, I think, like I did in my previous reading, about the importance of having community, looking for that community of people who have gone through what you've gone through so you can talk about it. I think talking about it is one of the beginning steps and one of the important steps, because it's a way it's a method in which you are addressing it. It goes from the situation that is so unknown and so mysterious and haunting. It's like a ghost because there's no form to it. But if you make words out of it, it becomes more structured. It becomes more organized. Your thoughts on it are streamlined out loud. All of it empowers you to move on. The Chariot, moving on, moving forward on better situations, your better mental health. It's all things it's all things to be more proactive about, and less shying away in the dark, okay? The Moon in reverse, less keeping secrets, less hiding away how much you are struggling. If no one knows you're struggling, no one knows that they need to help you. Am I right or am I right? Okay, but that's the tarot, okay, to start. And then I have Death in reverse, okay? Resistance to see how bad it is to, how much of a bad idea it is to withhold what's going on with you, creates even more loneliness. You need your friends, you need your family, you need to be in a good light, like within your own good energy. And if your outside surroundings are beating you down, do something about that. Make changes. Have your mental health and your well-being be the fuel. Right here, the fire, like literally, it looks like this panda's ass is lit up on fire, like act as if your life depends on it, because it literally does. Depression is not an easy thing. And when someone is suffering from depression, when you lose that fight, what happens. Literally, the word death. Like literally act as if your life depends on it, because it does. Your mental health will, and like it can bring you to the best and also the worst places. And so just be very mindful of that. Be mindful of where you're at in your mental. Are you doing well? Are you beating yourself up? And really don't hide. Don't only show the good. The whole thing with social media, it's all facade. We all wish to share our bests, right? But that's not reality. The reality is good and bad things happen to us, okay? I think social media kind of creates the illusion that like someone else's life is perfect or only good things happen to these people, and you're like, well, how come XYZ, this keeps happening to me and none of that type of stuff happens to them? Well, it does, they're just not sharing it. And I would really love to normalize the good and the bad, but really highlighting the good, but making sure that we're still asking for help, that we're still, you know, being realistic, okay, about how our lives are going. Okay, that was the tarot. I said that earlier, but I guess there was more to what I had to say. And then first, just the bottom of the pile. The bottom of the pile says perfection. So, but that's not what I was going to start off with, but just the message on perfection, right, is not needing to be perfect. And then, like, okay, I'll give you a sneak peek. Right there, it says gossip. So I mean, like, the whole gossip thing is about, like, we only talk or we only share about the good things. But let's go into this other way, okay? Manifesting and doing. So lots of stagnancy when it comes to manifesting the good things, or maybe perhaps the good things have stopped and the bad things are happening right now. And that's what's making, it's been tough for some of you. I think when it comes to definitely when it comes to manners of bad energy, you withdraw from belief in your manifestations. But the real trick is that it's a sort of a test. Are you able to keep on keeping on even when things get rough? That will really help you realize something about what it is that you are doing, how much can you how do I even want to word this? Like, to what degree do you feel something is worth it for you? Like, really ask yourself, like, how much am I willing to go through for a situation? And sometimes you are literally tested by the universe. You are handed what you want, okay? And then next to that is also the opposing energy, to test whether or not, like, to test how much worth you find in the how much you're willing to go through, or like the worth, like what you think that situation or event or person is worth. Now it can be a little bit twisted to see it that way, but if you keep on keeping on, that it's important to you to some degree, and you'd be able to measure that based off of what you're doing surrounding it. Okay. One very, very easy example to mention is me here doing Melly Monday, right? There are times where I cancel, but this thing is important to me enough that feeling sicky icky for a whole week, throwing up, sleeping all day, feeling lazy, trying to heal, okay? It's all to heal, but you can tell that this path with the cards, the Melly Monday, it's important to me, and that's why I'm here. You know, I'm still doing things towards it, even when I've felt like giving up, even when I feel sick, when I'm feeling my worst. I'm still here doing things. And so you can really sum up how important something is to you by continuing to manifest, or seeing yourself not do something when it comes to, like, as a result of another. Okay, your soul shines, but it was in reverse. So something about confidence when it comes to ourselves, right? I just feel as though many of us, when we're not perceived as perfect, or when things aren't as perfect, there's a tendency to put pressure on yourself to perhaps do more, say more, shine more. And back to, like, that exhaustion back here. Okay, that has to do with 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 your how and maybe why your mental health declined so much, because there's this standard or this expectation from yourself that is almost impossible to meet, and maybe you only meet it sometimes, and then all the other times you're feeling like crap, or whatever it may be. Like, if you're having a hard time and then you try harder, you, that maybe can be an adverse effect, rather than just resting and really, realizing your weak points and working on it over time, rather than like push, 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 and then, like, push yourself over the top, right? Like, we want to try and avoid that. Don't overwork yourself, don't over do any sort of energy, right? Just exist. Be fine with your current existence. Accept where you're at currently and love where you're at currently. That's a very, very, very hard thing to do when things are not ideal, okay? When things are not ideal, it's hard, okay? Um but it's also not hard. Love is very easy. Love is love is complicated to explain, but self-love, love is complicated to explain because it's unique, right? When you share love with one another, it is based on the two individuals. But when you talk about your love with yourself, that is very easy, because, at least very easy for me to say, okay? For some of my collective where self-love is new, right? Recognize that it's new. Okay? Anything new is hard, but on teaching self-love, or attempting to, okay? Um the importance is yes, I am me, and I love me. And taking the steps to be okay and accept me, like saying, today I am frustrated, and I am okay with that, because it is a feeling I need to feel, because my body tells me what I need. Your feelings tell you important things. If you're throwing yourself a pity party, all right, hold that pity party. Okay, let yourself hold it, but don't let it carry on too long. See the reason why you are where you're at, and make the change, right? See what it is that is putting you there, in your emotions and do something different about it, right? If you are frustrated because you want to, okay, for our individuals who like to work out or lift weights, okay, if you are working on lifting heavier weights, but your frustration is that, you're capped off somewhere, your strength is only so much at this point in time, you do kind of have a choice about that, right? um you are very right in feeling frustrated. If you want to be stronger, that is a good thing to want to be stronger. So make it your goal, right, over time to build up your strength. All right, in a few weeks, I will add in, 5 more pounds. And before you know it, you'll be able to lift 500 pounds or some ridiculous number that I can't even fathom myself doing. But, you grow it over time. But if you accept where you're at, you'll be able to be like, okay, I've done this much work and I can be proud of that. But my frustration lies with not with myself, but with the fact that I would like to be here. Like just transmute things into some sort of perspective that will keep you going or help you realize where to redirect. Right? Because maybe your frustration is you met your goal and now there's something else. I don't know, like there's so many situations. And so take the lessons where they apply, how they apply for you. And feel free to let me know what synchronicities or what resonates or what's going on. Like I don't mind. I love openness amongst one another. And so but definitely no more beating yourself down when your situation isn't ideal. No more, like there's doing more and then there's doing more that would be adverse to your situation. Okay, keep going. Magic happens when you most expect it. Overthinking can spoil the magic. Success in transformation. Just to get some more cards out here. Rise above your mental conflicts or situations. Because we got the overthinking can spoil the magic. So rise above that, right? Don't let yourself think yourself into frustration on things. Really just transmute those things into magic. I feel like magic here with the magic happens when you most expect it. If you expect a miracle or something good to happen, you will see it manifest. You will see that energy manifest, and it may not be how you initially think. Life is really weird that way, okay? Like I've had so many situations recently where I said something to someone and I held hopes or I held some sort of expectation that it may come from them, the energy that I spoke. Okay. And when you hold on to it coming from a specific person, you may be disappointed. But if you're open and rise above and just expect something, right, to manifest, but not hold not hold any specifics, you'll be so surprised and you'll feel so loved by the universe if you hold this openness with yourself, with others, with how things will go. What I mean by that specifically is like, I think I said like word, like almost like word for word. Um, be be consistent or make plans I can hold on to. There's like one or two things, right? If you can't be consistent, talk to me every day or talk to me weekly or, like show up consistently or be in my life consistently, then the alternative would be to make plans and be solid enough that you say I'm going to see you 3 months from now, I will see you 3 months from now. You say, like, and while I didn't receive that from the person I told it to, who I was trying to show them how to handle me speaking it out loud or me even like having that, holding the energy, I don't even have to speak it out loud. You can hold it as a prayer. You can hold it inside of you. As long as you know something within about what you need or what you want, the universe will provide it for you. And the trick of it is, I had hopes that came from this person that I spoke it to, but somebody else provided the example, the real life example. And that is where, being open or awake or one with the universe, like really seeing that play out is such a wonderful thing. Like the world, the universe is not against you, although your actions may create the universe as an enemy for a short while if you have had poor intentions or bad, like if you just weren't behaving in a respectful manner. Okay, karma is its own thing, but overall the universe wants the best for you. Everybody wants the best for you. It's just hard to give and receive that when you are struggling. And there's the messages are heavy today. But continuing forward, okay, integrate your knowing, change maker, make waves. Your past supports your future, okay? So with the past, we are just talking about past behaviors working against us, right? With karma. Okay, change maker, integrate your knowing, all right, making those changes, be a better person, then you'll see the universe treat you better. Okay, all in all, but that's a message for a select number of you. I don't know what you guys do in your personal life. I'm not out here trying to attack anybody for what they do or how they do things or whatever, but just take into account, when you know better, you do better, or or you, like that phrase, like you knew better or you should have, like all that stuff is like, the only way to cause disappointment is the fact that some people know that you knew better of a situation and still chose the alternative, the shitty situation, like, and it's like, when you've been there, done that, why choose it again? Because it's what you're familiar with. How does that make sense? Like, you don't want your bad situation to repeat, so why'd you choose the bad situation again? Or like, I'm not trying to be harsh or judge anybody, but I'm just saying, as generalized as possible, do with what you know, right? Some of us do know better and, don't choose better. But if you didn't know better, don't feel bad for how things were before you knew better. Okay? You did your best. But there's also actively not choosing your best, right? Not knowing, like knowing better and then still choosing the alternative. Yeah, there's so many ways to go on about that, but let's keep going. Door to personal healing and happiness, right? We're on track to just grow in love, grow in healing, grow as individuals. Angel of love, 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. He's really great with the throat chakra, so speaking up when it comes to your mental health. Okay, Magician in the mirror, manifesting better situations. 1st chakra, Archangel Michael, but he was in reverse. I'm going to put him upright. I just feel like amongst all this working on ourselves, there is a very, very urgent need to ground ourselves, there's just I'm feeling like when things go bad, it's almost like the absolute end of the world for some people in my collective, that but it's not, okay? Like you can still live another day. You can still have maybe a roof over your head. Like there's still situations that serve you, and when your focus is on the bad thing, you're letting one thing ruin your energy towards everything else, and that really affects how grounded you feel, in how safe you feel, your stability. Your root chakra is very important to make sure that you're preserving, that you feel safe when it comes to returning to feeling safe, when it comes to yourself, when it comes to love, when it comes to happiness and your healing, that you are safe to take these actions that you feel called to do, even if it upsets someone else. If you have to say something to stand up for yourself and it would upset someone else, well, how long have you been upset for? Really give yourself your own justice. Really ground whatever energy that you are needing to ground to be able to feel safe again. Okay, it's really important to feel safe, being able to communicate, being able to do what you want, have what you want, you feeling safe to give and receive in that way is really important. So with the 1st chakra, Archangel Michael, it could be really helpful for you guys to take a walk or go out into nature. Like I have some friends that really enjoy being up in the forests or on the beach. This really great grounding technique is returning to nature, being one with earth. There's a sense of safeness that comes from that, but it's also energetic, right? Returning to, it is safe for me to do what I want. Remind yourself, make this an affirmation for yourself. Magic and the mirror, really reflect on that affirmation and repeat it. Remind yourself of that balance your communication into it. Sometimes maybe you aren't able to give yourself what you need immediately to feel safe. So create words surrounding being able to bring that energy in. Okay, Thor's red, black, and gold dragon protects you in times of change. Lots of change is being had here with some of my collective. Changes create lots of chaos in our mind, in our outward situations, and here you are being protected. You have this dragon here in the interdimensional realms, calling on protection, surrounding you in protection. A time of rapid transition and transformation. Relax, you are safe. Okay, reminder again that you are safe, that you need to come back to this safety, this energy of knowing that you are protected as long as you choose what's best for you, as long as you take on your own life. Okay, air and water dragon helps you to connect to higher frequencies, all right? Like, and when I say like take on your own life, it's like calling on your power, calling back your higher power, even trust your intuition, develop your psychic abilities, be open to enlightenment, express your inner song, expression, words, make sure that it's known what it is that you need and that what you want. It could be towards a specific person if you think they are capable and they are willing. Absolutely, okay, that could be the next step, right? Maybe some of our individuals want to move in together. Maybe that is something that is going on with some of our couples. But there's all sorts of different scenarios, different changes that are having, job changes, literally moving, people dying, people being born, all sorts of scenarios, okay? But we have this dark blue galactic dragon helps you listen to the voice of the universe. What was I saying? I was saying about like the universe like will respond to you somehow as long as you make something known, as long as something is known somewhere about your desires and your needs, you will receive the energy. So just, be mindful or careful. That's why they say like be careful what you wish for, because like you could manifest or wish for something and it's totally accidental, like someone being harmed, like that stuff actually happens. If you wish harm on someone, like it may actually happen, and even if you don't see it, it may have still happened. Or like whatever, even good wishes, like people forming words of like, I hope you have a good day. That phrase by itself, if you actually had the good intention behind it, it does deliver that. It could bring someone a smile to someone's face, and that smile can go a long way. Same thing with like, that's why it's not really, I don't really, I take how people carry themselves and what they say seriously, because it should be taken seriously. The universe does respond. It responds accordingly, with balance and with karma, but the universe is listening. The universe does respond, okay? So just be mindful that what you want can happen. You just got to believe in it, and you believe that you deserve it, believe that all these things. Now with my hand injury, to some degree, I'm going to agree like layers and layers and layers of agree that maybe I didn't deserve it, but then I take it as maybe I need to be redirected. Like there's so many lessons and so many ways that you can view something. Just altogether realize that working on your mental health, working on your situations, your connections, your relationships, all of that is a product of you. If you do not have a good relationship with your family, okay, it's not completely your fault, but you do have a play in it. There are actions that can make a situation worse. There are actions that can make a situation better. All right. Like all of these are responses. Your outside surroundings are all responses of your outside, and your inner surroundings are responses and related. Okay. Close encounters. What was I saying about like related or connectivity, the oracle's gift? Okay, you're definitely being gifted the messages here of the importance of working with yourself and working with others and working with how things are going, and not just taking it and sitting in it. Don't just take it and sit in it and just be like, well, this is how it's going to be. Things don't have to be how they are. You choose how things are. And things keep kind of, it's like a domino effect. One thing affects another, which affects another, which affects another. Every day is some sort of manifest, like, one manifestation leads to another. Like, it's complex. Try to see it as like a web. One thing is connected here and here and here. Okay, I don't want to overwhelm you guys, and so let's just keep going. And we're definitely over an hour, but that's all right. Okay, this reading was very, very important, and so I'm trying to make sure everything is out. Okay. Responsibility. You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express. Okay, so earlier when I was saying about the universe responds to you, you also respond to the universe, right? If the universe isn't treating you well and you continue to behave in ill manner rather than learning some sort of thing from what's going on, the universe will continue to respond to you poorly. If you respond to the universe in a poor manner, you will also receive more of that energy. Like it will compound. If you respond, and then it's just like in an argument. If you respond hostile, then your partner is going, or the partner in the argument is going to respond maybe with hostility. But it's all up to the individuals involved, how they choose to respond, because just because you are hostile doesn't mean that the other party will necessarily be in a place where they want to take that. They don't have to take in hostility. And you'll be like, I don't deserve hostility, and choose peace. And they may say adios, bye-bye, and they choose to continue in peace. And then what you do next would be up to you. Do you continue being hostile, or do you choose peace? Do you choose another emotion or action, situation, what have you? It's your responsibility. What you choose to do is your responsibility, and you also know how much love you are able or willing to offer. Some of us don't have very much because it's not been easy, this lesson on love, right? And that begins with yourself. And again, reminder that when an energy is new, not to be so hard or put so much pressure on yourself. Just try your best, okay? Virtue. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. So with the intention of growing, that is an absolute virtue. That's something to be valued. That is something to hold responsibility for, is acknowledging your growth, being open to learning and growing. That is just the way of like the rule of thumb, like always gotta do better so you can be better, or always gotta look for better, because don't we want better or the best? Like, you'd be quite the, what is it, masochist, or sadist, if you are inflicting pain with yourself or onto others. Don't be doing that, please. Ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. So owning your shit, okay? Like, man, I was an asshole before, okay? But you own that and be like, all right, I own that. That's who I used to be. I don't want to be that person anymore. But I know I was there. Like, you have to have been there before to understand it, or understand that there is better. Just like you have to kind of accept the bad so you can recognize the good and go through the good, so that that the good is worth it, like is as worth it because the bad, the bad experiences highlight the good things, some sort of verbiage like that. Completion, 9, self-discipline, 41, patience, 2. Sorry, I've not been saying the numbers, but with completion, self-discipline, and patience there, I feel like some of us have already kind of understood some of the lessons here, and you're nearing like your cycle coming to an end and things getting better. But some of us, the energy is new, and there's need to have more self-discipline, be in a more complete understanding with your will, and like where you should maybe apply or withdraw yourself more. But that will be a range of, that will be kind of a spectrum of, everyone's going to be on a different step with their lessons there. And so the importance though is with having patience according to your self-disciplines, right? Like knowing when it is fine to continue or when it is fine to take a break. Okay, and then finally to the chakra cards, where we had the perfection card in the back, we have complacency, renewal, gossip, and perfection. Okay, so with complacency, it's been this energy of, and then especially next to the renewal card, Spirit's having me want to talk about realizing it's not okay to just be okay with things being dull or things making you unhappy, with how things, if you find that your situation is dying out and you find yourself just like ruminating, again with this word ruminating, like sitting in this dullness or cold energy, or you don't have to, like you can bring a new energy in, you can bring a new idea in, you can change things up. With gossip, right? I think there's a separation between like what you want to do and what people are saying that you should do. And there's this weird pressure of being perfect because of the gossip, because you want, like I'm hearing like some sort of people pleasing kind of energy, like you want people to be happy with you, you want people to be happy with you just want people to like you. And to some degree it makes you not choose what you want, and then it makes you unhappy, and then your life isn't yours because you chose things based off of what you think other people will be happy. And like overall, again, this with the mental health, it's not very healthy for you to try and be perfect according to someone else's eyes. Live your life perfectly according to your own eyes, right? Choose what would be best for you, choose what you want. Don't listen to the gossip, okay? Don't listen to the stigma of like what social media appears to be, right? Social media appears to be perfect. Social media gives us many unrealistic standards or ways of existing that don't really make sense sometimes, like and some of it's regional or geographically unique. Like some regions have very racist areas, or some regions have very just not very open with certain concepts like LGBTQ plus, or with polyamory versus monogamy, monogamous, polygamy, and that, like, that's a whole new world for a lot of the world, is the concept of polyamory or polygamy, and versus monogamous relationships, or the disabled community. There's a lot of people who misunderstand the disabled community, and so, like, with the gossip, with the idealisms on the internet, you shouldn't be okay with the conditions on your outside surroundings. Like, if you're not okay with them, don't just accept it, like, realize, like, there is something that can be renewed or changed or adjusted, or something about it, needs to change, whether it's how much gossip you take in, where you are located, maybe you need to move, maybe whatever it is. All right, things don't need to things don't need to be perfect. And the real trick is, things are perfect as they are. The change is within you, in just seeing that things are the way they are, so that you are pushed in one direction or another, for you to realize one thing or another, learn something new about yourself, experience something, so that you can see the other end of the other end, like the other way, right? Like, you can't know something's good if you don't know what bad feels like. You can't know what bad, you know what I'm trying to get there. And I had one more tarot deck, so I'm gonna shuffle out, do a quick live shuffle, and it's gonna be a mini to end here, because the reading is so long, but I just want to pull out a few quick cards just to end the reading overall on the energy and how my friends are doing after such a tough and heavy reading. I'm sorry. I hope that I was able to reach many of you, but I know that I'm doing my best, but my best today is not my best as you've seen in my previous, I don't know, you guys may think this reading is my best so far, but right now, like, energetically, yeah. So anyway, messages for my lovelies. I'm gonna get the one that flipped. These that flipped. So I have the Wheel of Fortune. That's beautiful to see first off. Just seeing that the universe is working in our favor. And we have the Four of Cups and Three of Cups reverse. Okay. Being patient. All right. Because I think earlier I was saying, like, being open with individuals, being more open, but there is sort of a wariness with, if you're struggling with some of your connections, it's okay to be picky with who you open up to. You may find that you're gonna be looking for a new set of friends for some of us. Others, it may just be a matter of time before you feel comfortable. Whatever it is, the Three of Cups here is still in reverse. So with the community, right, there is importance with community, and there is importance with having friends and your family and connecting to them. But if you are struggling in this element, maybe finding new friends or waiting to see which friends or family that you can open up to. The Four of Cups is this waiting energy of waiting until you feel right, sharing your cup, sharing your emotions, sharing what's going on with you in order to receive help. Okay, this is for those that need to seek help finding the right energy, because if you do not have an energy that aligns with you, like I was saying earlier in the reading, it can cause more chaos. If you're already struggling, and you bring in someone else who doesn't understand you, it will create more struggle. So just being careful there, okay? You do have the universe working in your favor, but you do not have to open up to who is immediately around you. You can look and be picky, okay? That way you can feel safe and far away from gossip, far away from people who have bad intentions, right? Like you're not alone, but you kind of are if you have people who don't understand you. So then, wait for the people who come in that do understand you. And we have the Chariot, okay, making those moves. Seven of Wands reverse and the High Priestess reverse. I think that there's going to be kickback with your intuition. You're going to be resistant with some of the energies because it's going to be hard to see the people or the situations that don't agree with you, like for what it is. But all in all, you will get through it. And I know that before even seeing with this Knight of Cups, okay, you will get through it. This Knight of Cups energy, I love seeing those leaves, so pretty. But just going into protecting your energy and giving yourself, being yourself is really going to bring in clarity. I kept just hearing clarity over and over and over again. There is clarity that is to be needed or had with yourself and with others, but with yourself. Like what do I need? And it could very much be protecting your energy or protecting yourself so you can feel safe going towards what you want. That may be withdrawing from some friends, withdrawing from a job situation, breaking up or not breaking up. It could be just saying, hey, I need space. Give me like 2 weeks to think about it, or give me a month to think about it. Like just really protecting really just having a grasp and protecting what it is to go for and working on it, being active about working on it. I see lots of green there, but like just all back of the deck energy. Knight of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, just with that 2 of Pentacles there, really indicates that there's been indecision here to work on yourself, or indecision of like your placements on how to work on yourself. And if you're holding any indecision or like needing to wait, whatever alone time that you're not allowing yourself, allow yourself this alone time, right? Because that would be how you protect your energy. Protecting your energy is not giving it to someone else,